All right, welcome to the Reese Report. I am the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and we are back for Wild Card Weekend. I am joined by Jose Carlos Gomes and Gil Duarte Santos. I just found out that was his middle name, and it's awesome. So I'm going to be calling him GDS from now on, and JCG. Uh, Jose, I'm going to just say you have a strong lead, and you're probably going to win this. Gil made a nice comeback last week with 12 wins, as did Barbosa, but they are too far back to catch you. So I'm going to say
Repeat.
that you've won this year and have the three-peat, and we're just going to give you picks and analysis based on our vast football knowledge, and also make our early Super Bowl selections before the playoffs start, and we'll see how those go. So we're just going to give you pure football knowledge. Say no Barbosa this week. Just me, Jose, and Gil. We'll give you Barbosa's picks as we go along. But it's just the three of us today, and we're going to give you our wild card weekend picks. Gil, Jose, you ready? You guys doing all right?
Yes,
Yep.
sir. The OGs
Okay,
are
so
back.
yeah, this is the OG group, the OTC, as I like to say. We're back. Guys, we were going to do a Raw show on Monday, but Raw was very disappointing, and there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, and so we didn't end up doing that show. Um, I'm not going to get into too much details, but it was, other than the main event, it was a pretty disappointing show of not much going on other than pomp and circumstance. The Rock started off the show, and you knew right away it wasn't going to be a great show after that. So maybe in the future we'll do some Raws that are a little more interesting, perhaps Raw after pay-per-views or before pay-per-views. As the Rumble comes up, will be much more interesting. But for now, we're going to do our football, and then hopefully later on in the summer we'll do some soccer and some other stuff so we can keep the guys on the show. So let's just continue on with football for now without the pressure of records, and let's start with Saturday. And on Saturday, our first game is the LA Chargers, who still have a lot to prove. They're a team that made the playoffs, unsurprisingly to all of us. Jim Harbaugh turned the defense around and set up the running game and turned Herbert into a guy who does not to turn the football over. They had the number one or number two defense in the league this year. Jim Harbaugh, in his first couple of years, knows how to work his magic. They go to Houston to take on the Texans, who, in my opinion, have been a disappointment this season, have a lot of injuries, still have a couple of weapons. CJ Stroud hasn't been as good this year as he was last year. I'm going to go to Gil first. An interesting game, one of many where the home team doesn't deserve to be the home team, but this is the way the NFL playoffs work. Just for fun, I'll give the spreads. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite at Houston. Gil, who do you got in this game and why?
Well, it's a tough game for us to pick, even for all of us. It would just be me. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna say the Chargers will have the edge on this based on off the great defense they had this year. Stroud looked shaky. Mixon,
good.
he started off well. It looked like he went a little bit soft now. But and then what did I say about Jose? I think it was Jose. I talked to Jose about. I think it was Friday when we went to soccer. I told him that Dominic Pierce guy was going to cause some damage. I think he ran like a 98 yarder.
Yeah,
Uh, so they have the backing. I just feel like Stroud's not on that same level. And Harbaugh's going to come through with this one for me. And Herbert's been playing good. I think the Chargers are just in a good place right now. They're all united. They all look like everybody's on the same page. They look great. They look good.
Jose, who do you got in this one? Boy, oh boy, Jim Harbaugh. Certainly in the first 2 years he's on a team, really makes a major impact.
Oh, 100%. He's a great coach. They play great defense. He's a old school type of coach. Run the ball, protect the ball, and play good defense. And that's how he's won all these championships, national championships in NCAA. Um, I agree with Gil. I think right now the Chargers are rolling. I think they're in a better situation than the Texans. The Texans have been limping into the playoffs. struggling. I guess it's the sophomore jinx. It's got to Stroud, although he doesn't have a lot of his weapons. There are a lot of good wide receivers that are injured, but hey, now it's the playoffs, and I think he's gonna ball out with McConkey and Disley and J.K. Dobbins running the ball, and that defense I think will get a couple of turnovers, and that'll be the difference in the game. So I like the Chargers as well.
Yeah, earlier this season, I picked Houston to get to the Super Bowl. I'm here to tell you I'm probably going to be wrong. The Chargers have played one playoff game with Justin Herbert, a game in which they blew a huge lead to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't see that happening today, or Saturday, I should say. I think the Chargers are a bad matchup for the Texans. Um, their defense is a problem. Justin Herbert's not turning the football over. Uh, if it's a low scoring game, then it can get scary because the Chargers offense needs to get going. And certainly last week, Quentin Johnson came out of nowhere to post 9 receptions for over 180 yards. If he's catching the ball and Lad McConkey's got it going, Houston's in a lot of trouble because then they only have to guard Nico Collins, make sure they keep Mixon contained enough, and then they can just send the Wolves after C.J. Stroud in that offensive line. And I don't think that's a good recipe for the Texans. So I got the Chargers winning this game and covering the 3. The Chargers are a team that nobody wants to play. Harbaugh's history in the playoffs is really good. They're a running team that can play defense, and they have a quarterback who can't be any more confident than he has been right now in his career. He's not turning the football over, and so they become a scary team for potentially the Chiefs to play in the second round. And so the Chargers could surprise a lot of people, and I have them winning this game over the Texans. Let's go to again Saturday, I believe. Yes, Saturday night. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who backed their way into the playoffs, losing 5 straight games. The roses off the bloom of Russell Wilson. Their reward for finishing the season terribly is to go to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, who stole the division for them. Um, if this was a regular season game, there wouldn't be much analysis because the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game and win it by a lot. I don't care that it's a division game. I think the Ravens are the better team. The Steelers have been falling apart for weeks now. They can't score. They struggle to move the football. Their defense is even not playing as well as they did earlier in the season. I know that Lamar Jackson is a quarterback that has struggled in the playoffs, and that could keep this game close. So I wouldn't take the 9.5 point spread, but I think the Ravens are going to win this game. They've never had a better running game, and their defense has rebounded nicely in the second half of the season. So I have the Ravens winning this game, and it could be the possible end of the Mike Tomlin era in Pittsburgh. George Pickens is acting like Antonio Brown on the field. He's dropping passes all over the place, which cost him the game against Cincinnati last week. I just think that the Steelers are a mess, and the Ravens take advantage. Jose, who do you got in this game? It's a 9.5 point spread. I think the Steelers will probably cover that, but I got the Ravens. Who do you got?
I got the Ravens as well. I think having Derrick Henry back there relieves a lot of pressure off of Lamar Jackson. Opens up more of the play action. Like I told you guys, we had this conversation last week about resting players. What happens? Zay Flowers gets hurt. Okay, they had to win the game, and it was a meaningful game, but this is what I mean about games that sometimes when you don't need to play for rest your players because anything could happen in injury and there goes their best wide receiver. Although they have Batemans and guys to back up, I think they'll be enough to beat the Steelers.
Well,
Steelers are
Baltimore had
struggling.
to win this game to win the division, though, Jose.
Yes, I understand that, but dude,
Yeah,
you don't need to play. The game was blown out already in the second half. Like you didn't need to have him. I know he got hurt in the first half, I believe, but still, like
yeah.
you could have rested one guy here or there. But this is what I mean about okay. I get the Ravens situation because they needed to win the game. I understand that, But I'm talking about like other guys like Barkley's and stuff like that. That's why you rest these players and you don't try to. I know he was going for the record, but that's a different story. Anyways, I
Yeah.
like the Ravens. I think their defense is solid right now. Um, Steelers are struggling offensively. They need another playmaker in the outside. I think they need somebody to play as a wide receiver to the Pickens. I think Pickens is just a little short baby when he doesn't get the ball. He's another diva. I think he just needs to shut up and play football. But in saying that, the Ravens should win this game. Derrick Henry will run the ball down their throats, and Lamar Jackson will do Lamar Jackson, and they'll win this game.
Gil, you've been a Ravens fan for 2 seasons now. Big supporter of them and Lamar. I would assume that you like them, but give me your reasons why they'll win this game.
Oh, they'll win this game based off how Pittsburgh's been playing. Pittsburgh's been kicking themselves in the foot. They haven't won. I believe they lost five
Five.
straight.
5 straight, yeah.
They won nothing
Yeah.
in December. And what's playoff football? December, but it's like winter time. They just look. Even Tomlin, when he finished the game with Cincy, he didn't even know what to say. He
No.
knows his team's in trouble, and there's no motivation there. He better get that team motivated because never mind just stopping Lamar. Now you got Henry back there. You got Flowers. He's still gonna play. Batman's playing better now. Sorry, I know it's Bateman, but I call him Batman because he's been playing like Batman. The last 3 weeks, he's been their go-to guy, not even Flowers. So he's been playing well. Remember, Jose, you benched him, you picked him up, and then you left him on the bench and got you like 30-something points. You should remember, no? Anyways, yeah. So he's been playing well. I think this is. It's not even as how good Baltimore is. This is more of how bad Pittsburgh's been playing.
Yeah. Jose, for those who don't know, had one of the most unlucky fantasy seasons I've seen. Going 7-0 to start the year, even without an injured Christian McCaffrey, and just a very unlucky decisions led to him losing early in fantasy. And I thought he had the team to win the whole thing. So
Lost in the semifinals. That's not bad.
I know. It's
I lost by 4 points in the semifinals.
I know. That's how unlucky you are.
On stupid my stupid decisions. But hey, that's the way fantasy football is.
Yeah.
So just for the people to know, he had a choice of Miller or Kraft, and guess who he chose? Miller.
Oh man, yeah, that one hurts, man. And they played Green Bay that week and got shut out, and he just was never going to see the ball in that game. It was just brutal. Tough one, but hey, that's fantasy. All right, let's get to Sunday's games. The Denver Broncos, who snuck in there, beat down the Chiefs, who played nobody and basically tanked the game because they had clinched the 1 seed. Bo Nix gets in the playoffs, has a great game against Kansas City. Gil, you were high on Bo Nix, and he had a very good season and led the Denver Broncos to the playoffs. Their reward is going to Buffalo to take on the Bills, and who I believe will be the MVP in Josh Allen. Denver's defense is good. That will pose some problems. But I just can't see a rookie quarterback going into Buffalo and winning this game. The spread is 8.5. That might be rich. I think Denver could cover that, but I think Buffalo wins this game. I just don't think Denver's ready to win in the playoffs. And I think Josh Allen, this is his team. There's nobody else but him running this ship, and it's his time to show it. So I don't see an upset here. I got the Bills. Gil, who do you like in this game? I know you're a big Knicks fan, Denver, a couple of years now, but what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Well, this one, Buffalo should win. The 8.5, I think I agree with you. It's a little too rich for me too. They might sneak one out. You know, the only thing is, I think this is gonna be a closer game than everybody thinks.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
And the thing of I know they played a bad KC team, but it helped them get rhythm, connections, get like everything just ran smooth. Obviously, they played a bad team, but confidence wise, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But Allen's going to be hard to stop. But you know what? Who knows? But I think Buffalo should win. But Denver's defense is just right up there. They might give Allen a hard time.
Yeah, it's trickier than it looks, guys. Jose, what do you think?
I'm taking Denver as an upset right here. I think Denver's they're rolling right now. They're playing well offensively. Buffalo struggles against good wide receivers. Um, right now, Cortland Sutton's probably one of the best wide receivers out right there in football right now. Him and Mims and buddy, they've got some play action plays. Like they do some crazy freaking short slants, and the guy's gone. He's so fast that you can't even see him. Dude, I just think I think they match up well with Buffalo. I think this is a bad game for Buffalo. I think their defense can play with. I think they can hang in with Buffalo. I think Josh Allen is gonna try to. They're gonna probably be down. He's gonna try to be a hero, throw a couple of down the field, and Sertan's gonna intercept him. I don't know what it is. I just have a feeling that I don't really like the Buffalo team. I don't think they played well in the regular season, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that Buffalo's gonna get upset in this one. I don't know why. So I'm taking Denver. I'm gonna go with the upset.
Yeah, there's always an upset in the first round. I thought about taking this game, and then I went back and looked at Denver's wins and losses throughout the season. When they played good teams on the road, they got destroyed. I mean, Baltimore killed them 41-10. They gave up a lot of points to good teams on the road. The Chargers scored 34 on them. The Bengals beat them in a game that they needed to win. And so I just if they were at home for this game, then I would have been
Dude,
thinking
they
about
almost
Denver.
beat
But
the Chiefs in
I
Kansas
know,
City by it
I
was
know,
1916 or whatever the
I
hell the
know,
game
I
was.
know, I know,
So
I
it's
know.
and right now the way that they're playing with a lot of confidence. And
Yeah.
especially
There,
against that Bills secondary, I told you guys when they played
yeah,
against the Rams, that's their weakness is their secondary. And right
yeah.
now, the way Bo Nix is throwing the ball to Sutton, to Mims, to all these guys, they're dangerous, man. They're dangerous.
Yeah, I mean Denver's run game doesn't really give me much hope, and so I don't know how the play action works when they have no run game, but they've made it work. I just Buffalo's defense has been improving. I just don't. I don't know. I agree with what you're saying. I just man, if Josh Allen loses this game, man, oh man, it's not going to be good for him.
You know what?
Yeah,
In my opinion, if Denver can stop his rollouts,
yeah,
then Buffalo's in big trouble. Then I agree with
yeah,
Jose. I think they lose.
yeah. It's on Josh Allen. This game is on Josh Allen. If he doesn't play well, they can lose. There's no question about it. And so I don't blame you for taking Denver. I just didn't like their results on the road this season, other than when they went to Tampa Bay and hammered the Bucks. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's get to the second Sunday nighter, a game that I'm going to enjoy a lot because it's Gills Packers. Gills Packers go to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Gil, um, I'm just going to say it. Your team was awful last week. They lost to the Bears for the first time in 6 years. They let him hang around. Jordan Love got hurt, and then they said he could come back into the game, but didn't. You lost Christian Watson for the season. So Jose's argument of resting guys certainly holds true in this situation. They did end up resting Love and Jacobs after the first quarter and a half, and that led to a loss to the ugly Bears, who celebrated like they won the Super Bowl, which is embarrassing. So they go to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The Eagles are probably going to get Hurts back. He's still under concussion protocol, so that's up in the air. But the indication is he will play. Green Bay's defense has been improved in the second half of the season, but they got to face Saquon Barkley. That's a problem. I just don't. Green Bay is the Houston of the NFC, and granted, Green Bay's been better, but they're very inconsistent with the way they play. And I don't like what I've seen from Jordan Love this year. He's been inconsistent. Jacobs has been their star. Their wide receivers are also inconsistent. You never know who's going to make catches and who's not going to make catches. If this was a different team, I'd like the Packers. I don't like them playing Philadelphia's defense in Philadelphia, so I'm going to take the Eagles. It's just a bad matchup in my opinion. Now, earlier this year they went to Brazil and lost by 5. But that Eagles team is not what this Eagles team is now. And so at 4.5 points, that's very, very tight. It should be a very close game. I think it'll be a 3-point game, but I think the Eagles will win just because the Packers are just too inconsistent for me, Gil. But what do you think?
Well, for me, it's it depends. If they do that slow start, the last 3 weeks they've been starting off slow. They waste like 2 quarters and a half, and then they finally wake up and it's too late. They gotta start fast. They don't even have to start fast, but at least get some points up on the board. Don't go to the third quarter with 0 or just like a field goal or something. They got to put points, especially against the Eagles. Yeah, like they played in Brazil. They went shot for shot, right? They went right down to the wire. They could match up with them. Like I said, the Packers this year have been field goals away from being 14-2, or a couple of games went the other way. It is what it is. It is in Philadelphia. I just think Philadelphia might have the edge. They have Brown, Smith, Barkley. Packers on wide receiver, unless Reed starts having a big game, because I believe Reed had like almost 200 yards receiving against the Eagles that week. But Jacob wasn't on fire. Now it's the opposite. Reed is cold, right. Jacobs is hot. I don't know if the Packers can keep it on the ground and Jordan Love might get away with the play action. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. I think the Eagles are just going to be a little bit too strong, and they're going to win.
Jose, you said last week that the Packers had a chance to upset the Eagles. Do you still feel that way after that awful performance against the Bears?
100%. 100%. And then I'm going to take the Packers. I already told you why I was going to take the Packers. I just think if Jalen Hurts is playing or not playing, I think he's going to be rusty for playing not playing for 3 weeks. They're going to be running the ball. Packers are going to stack the box, and they're going to make them throw the ball. And Jalen Hurts tends to make a lot of mistakes, and the Packers secondary is the strong point of that defense. I know they have Alexander's out for the season, but they still have guys that are Savage and other guys at the back there that can play to their positions. I just think Green Bay. I think Green Bay, if Jordan Love is healthy, I think, and Jacobs will be running down their throats too. I think, yeah, I'm taking Packers, man. I like Packers. I've said it last week. I think the Eagles resting all their players are gonna be rusty too. Especially I don't trust Kenny Pickett even if he plays in the game. I absolutely not. I'd rather take Jordan Love any day over Kenny Pickett. So yeah, I'm taking Packers.
So you believe that the Packers' run defense can stop Saquon?
Yes, I believe so. Just stack the box, force them to throw the ball. I like their secondary is the strength of the team. So if I'm a team that can't run can't defend I'm stacking the box. I'm making them throw the ball. And yeah, okay, you wanna beat me? Beat my cornerbacks. They're probably one of the best cornerbacks set in the league. So beat me. Beat me by throwing the ball. Then if they beat them by throwing the ball, then you gotta give them the props. But by rushing, no, absolutely not. And lately they've been doing good against the rush too. They haven't been doing that bad lately.
So the game earlier this year was first week of the season, so it's kind of hard to go by that. But Barkley did rush for 109 yards in the first game. But we'll see. I actually think the difference in this game is the defenses. I think the Eagles' defense is pretty awesome, and that's going to be the problem for the Packers in this game. But we'll see. These games, they can go either way. This is one of those playoffs where there's no standout lock team that's going to win the Super Bowl unless you like Kansas City. So we'll see what happens, or Detroit for that matter, who has the bye as well. But these wild card games they're wide open. No matter what the spread is or who we like or don't like. Let's go to the Commanders, one of my favorite teams to watch this year, in what I believe will be the game of the week. They go to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs, my other team that I've loved following this year, who successfully won the Central over a Kirk Cousins-led Falcons team. Um, Early this year, these two teams met, and Tampa Bay destroyed them 37-20. Um, I don't believe this game will be any different. It will be closer. It won't be 37-20 because Tampa Bay's defense struggles. I didn't like what I saw from Tampa Bay last week, but once again, Baker just knows how to lead a team back. Bucky Irving was not the prominent player he was back then, and they still won 37-20. Now Bucky Irving is one of the better backs in the league. I think he'll make a big difference because Washington has struggled against the run all year. Mike Evans getting that record, and I said this last week, and I agree with Jose, and that's, he's telling me he's picking the Packers now because he didn't like that the Eagles rested them, even though he said he wanted the Eagles to rest their players. Like, I like the fact that Tampa Bay played last week. Now, they had to play and they had to win, but I like that they, even at the end of the game, allowed Mike Evans to get his 1,000 yards. I like that. Get the team all fired up. Get the players all celebrating and all happy. I like that. I like going into the playoffs like that. Washington decided to rest their players after one quarter, playing against the division rival. They still won the game because Trey Lance started for Dallas, even though he was okay in that game. But I prefer what Tampa Bay did, even after they had the game won. And it was scary. It was 16-6 New Orleans. They had to come back and win it. So, New Orleans played, with nothing to lose and gave them all they could handle. I like both quarterbacks a lot, but I'm going to take the experience of Baker over the rookie Jaden Daniels in this game. The spread is 3.5, I believe. It's 3. It'll be a 3-point game, so you can knock it down to 2.5 if you want. But I got Tampa Bay. Gil, this is another really tough game of two really fun quarterbacks to watch. Take the over, guys. I think this will be a high-scoring game. Neither defense is very good. But, Gil, who do you got?
Well, the way, even though Jaden Daniels had a great year, I just think Tampa, they're tough right now. They're going to be a tough team to beat. And Baker, he looks hungry, man. I'm telling you, he looks hungry. Watch out. To beat this Tampa team, you got to capitalize on their mistakes because they look like a whole different, and their defense is great. They're playing good, not great, but they're playing good enough, and Baker's putting up the points. And I think Washington's going to have a hard time putting toe-to-toe with Baker here on this one.
Yeah, Baker's he's just been unbelievable for them. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I mean, he led that team through a lot of adversity this year and a lot of injuries, and they still won the division. So props to him. Great season by Jaden Daniels, but I think rookie scares will happen. Jose, who do you got, though? Who do you like?
Tough game. They're both good teams, even teams, I think. I just think the Bucks are better offensively. Right now, they're clicking better, especially McMillan with Baker
Yes.
Mayfield. He's been a rookie sensation coming out of nowhere. He was a good piece for them when they lost Godwin. He stepped in. So I'm gonna take the Bucks. I think it's gonna come down to the last drive. I think Baker Mayfield will bring them down the field, and they'll kick a game-winning field goal. I think both teams are going to score. Even last week, the Saints were moving the ball on that defense. They, instead of scoring touchdowns, they kicked field goals, and that was the difference in the game. And I just don't. I just see more potential in the Washington offense. I think they can put up scores, touchdowns and stuff. So that's gonna force the Bucks to score a lot of touchdowns too. It's gonna be a high scoring game, I think. But I think Baker Mayfield gets it done on the last minute drive and they kick a game winning field goal. I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Yeah, guys, if you want to lock wager this week, I can't see this game being low scoring. It's going to be a high scoring game and a last second field goal. Let's have 34-31 or something like that. The total's 50.5. I think you're pretty safe taking the over in that one. So we're all on the Bucks. Now let's get to the Monday nighter. Poor Minnesota. Guys, I said it last week, and I should have stuck to my guns that we were going to see the ghost of Sam Darnold and boy, oh boy, did we see it last week. Uh,
What happened to him?
he he left. It's just us.
He cut
Yeah.
him.
So
He
last
cut it. Yeah.
so last week, the Vikings took a licking from the Detroit Lions, and now they go on the road to play the L.A. Rams. What do you think, Gil, of the game?
Oh, I'm going with the after what I saw last week. It's pretty much what I thought. The Vikings to me are frauds. They just have Jefferson. Jefferson didn't get that catches. They couldn't get him the ball. They couldn't score. Like they had trouble running, and not to a good and not even to a good Lions. Not even to a good Lions like defense, right? So and they struggled. They struggled scoring. So it was a shocker to me. And Darnold for the first time looked off. The Lions, all hats to them. They played well. They went there. It was a statement game for the Lions. So I think, but I think Minnesota was a fraud. I think they're gonna get kicked out. I'm gonna take the Rams in this one.
Um, I like this. I like this. This game is going to be a good game, and I think they played each other already at the this year, didn't they? And I believe the Rams beat them, or
I
was
think
it the opposite?
yes, they beat them. Minnesota lost back to back, and the
Yeah.
Rams was one of them. Yes, you're right.
Sorry, can you guys
So
hear me? So before,
yeah, I can hear you. I can
oh,
hear you.
can you see me?
No, I can't see your
You
face.
can't see your face. Yeah,
All right, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna try to fix
yeah.
this one.
So the Rams, Jose, the Rams did beat them 30-20. By the way,
Yeah. So I think the Rams are going to beat them again this week. They get Stafford back. He's gonna be healthy, ready to go. Last week they had Jimmy G as quarterback. They didn't even give a shit about the game. They had rested Cooper Cup, Nakuz, and all those guys. Um,
the problem with this game, Jose, is they might not even play it in LA now. They might go to Arizona.
oh yeah,
Uh,
that's right because of the
LA
fires.
LA's all on fire right now, so
I know.
let's see what happens there. So that
Yeah, but even
might change a
that's true
little
too.
bit of
That's true too.
the not everybody. A lot of people are not focused on the game. A lot of houses are gone. You
I know
know,
a lot of famous people are losing their houses too. It's crazy, man.
I know
And
it's like God's punishing Hollywood, man. That's what it is.
uh,
Maybe it's for the
yeah.
P Diddy parties. It's all coming back. It's all coming back to them.
These, yeah, it's hey, God,
God's doing something, man. I don't know.
punishes them, man. Maybe Diddy's or
It's
that he's
if you
casting us.
Jose, if you look at it, it's in Malibu, it's in Pasadena,
Yeah,
Calabasas. It's exactly where all the Hollywood stars are. It's not even where
no,
the
it's
poor
true.
people are.
It's true. It's true.
It's going exactly where those stars are, right? So
Yeah, even like I know like pro athletes too. They're losing their houses and stuff like that. Like they're getting evacuated. It's crazy, man.
yeah, yeah,
But hey, I'll wish everybody the best out there, and hopefully everything's okay.
yeah. Hopefully,
And they get to control that stuff and stuff. So, but yeah, well, I didn't like even if the game goes to Arizona, I think the Rams match up pretty good with them. I think you know what, like I think the Detroit exposed the that defense last week. I think running the ball on the outside because they like to blitz a lot
yeah.
and but Gibbs was just running the ball on the outsides of that defense, and he was just going freely. So I see Williams doing the same thing. I see Stafford throwing to Nakua on those short slants and stuff. That defense is gonna get torn apart. So I'm gonna take the Rams as well. I like the Rams.
All right, guys, we had some technical difficulties. I know you guys can't see my face. Something happened with my laptop, but you can still hear me. So,
Yeah.
Vikings, Rams. What I wanted to say about this game was that, yes, they met earlier in the season. The Rams won the game. That was at the time when the Rams were rolling. They got their players back, and then they took advantage of the Vikings defense that was trying to blitz, and then Stafford took advantage of the blitz. Kyron Williams had a good game. Um, that game last week, I mean, Detroit just annihilated Sam Darnold. Um, and the Rams defense has been very good in the last few weeks. If they try to blitz Stafford, that's not going to work out well for them because if Puka and Cooper Kupp are rolling and they're catching the ball in quick slants, that won't work. And then if they don't blitz, then Kyron Williams will run the ball against that defense. And I think that might cause trouble for the Vikings. The Vikings really needed to win that game last week to give them more hope in the playoffs. Now they got to play a Rams team that is a bad matchup for them. So I have the Rams winning this game. That's kind of my mini upset for the week as I have all the favorites in the other game. I didn't get a chance to hear what you guys said, but
Yeah, we both took the Rams.
We all took the Rams.
Yeah, took the Rams. Okay, so what I wanted that's our picks for Wild Card Weekend. I wanted to get into Super Bowl picks. You guys didn't talk about the Super Bowl yet, did you?
No.
Okay, so let's as we end the show, because as you can see, there's problems here. Super Bowl. Let's start with Gil. Gil, who is your Super Bowl selections, and then who wins the game?
Well, who I would like to see was actually I would like to see Green Bay Denver, right? Love and Bo Nix. That's what I would like to see. Actually, Jose took both of them, and I didn't even take either to go through.
Yeah.
But that is who I would like to see. You guys know that. But yes. I'm gonna go. I gotta stick with my with the Ravens. I'm gonna say the Ravens and the Bucks.
Wow, you know what? The Bucks are scary. They are scary, no question.
I say the Ravens and the Bucks, and I'm gonna have to take the Ravens to win, and the Ravens win.
Wow, Lamar finally gets out of his trouble there. Jose, who do you got?
Man, my Super Bowl picks, they're both out already, so that I did in the beginning of the season. So if I'm going to go now, dude, it's hard to go against the Chiefs, man. I think they're healthy right now. They're getting all their offensive weapons back now too. Hollywood Brown makes a difference. I think it's going to be hard to beat them, especially in Kansas City, and with the referees helping them here and there too, you know. And the NFC, oh man, you know what? Just based on what I saw last week, I'm gonna take. It's gonna be a Lions Chiefs Super Bowl. I think normally 71% of the times that the number one seeds make to the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna stick with that theory. I think the Lions, offensively, they can put up points with anybody in the NFC. Their defense, buddy, last week they looked amazing, blitzing Sam Darnold all the time. So I'm gonna take the Lions Chiefs.
All right. Obviously, I had Houston. I don't think they're getting there. I believe I had Green Bay. Or did I have the Lions? I can't remember which team I had going to the Super Bowl. We'll do our review show when Barbosa's here, so we can go through our picks. But he's not here, so we won't do that this week.
Well, my original pick from the beginning was Baltimore Green Bay.
Baltimore Green Bay. Okay, so you're still alive. Barbosa, Josie, you said your teams are out already, eh?
Yeah. I had the Niners and the Bengals.
Yeah, not good. Not good. I'm gonna take. I can't do it, Jose. I understand why you're doing it. I can't take the Chiefs. Not because I hate them, but I do. I just think winning 3 in a row is tough. They are rolling to end the season. I agree with you, but I think the Ravens are going to beat them. I think the Ravens, if they run the football like they're supposed to, and for those who don't know, when they run the ball 18 times or more with Derrick Henry, they have not lost a game this season. If they run the football early and often in that game and it works, then they win the football game. If they don't run the football, they're going to lose to Kansas City. If you remember last year, they lost that game 17-10 because they didn't run the football. They threw the ball 40 times and it played right into the Chiefs' hands. They have Derrick Henry now. Yep.
It's going to be hard. They have a harder way to get to the AFC Championship game than the Kansas City Chiefs. So even if they win and Bills win, they play each other. They're gonna kill each other. And while the freaking Chiefs plays the freaking winner of the of the fourth and fifth place, which is the Texans and the
Yeah,
Chargers.
but
You know what I
no, but
mean? I know I'm not saying
You have Denver winning, which means they play
yeah,
Denver.
like I have Denver winning, but like the favorites is saying that the Bills are going to win. Okay,
Right.
I'm going with I have a gut feeling that the Denver's going to win, but favorite is the Bills, and if
Yeah.
the Bills and the Ravens were to win, the Ravens are going on the road to face Buffalo in Buffalo. So what I'm trying to say is that Buffalo, that the Ravens have a harder way of getting to the AFC Championship than the Chiefs will, because the
Yeah.
Chiefs are going to have to play one game and they're already in the AFC if they win. The other teams have to already play two games, and then you got to play the AFC Championship game in KC.
Right.
That's why home field, the number one seed, is very important, man.
Yeah.
People don't think it is, but it's important
Yeah,
because you.
but but to me, I think let's go down the road, Jose. You picked
Uh,
Denver to
yeah.
go through. I still think KC will have a hard time with Denver. And to be
Hmm.
honest with you, and let's go favorite wise. If Bills win, they got to play the Chargers. Well, guess what? The Chargers ain't no like those are two great defensive teams. So
Yeah.
like they're not gonna be
No, I
playing.
know, I know. It's not going to be easy,
Both those
regardless. I'm
games are
just saying.
tough, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
both those games would be tough. I understand what you're saying, Jose. Both those games would be tough for Kansas City if they play Denver or the Chargers. Um, I just think that it's hard to win three in a row. The Chiefs have been playing with fire all year long, and if they keep doing that, they're going to get burned. Now, if the Ravens, like I said, if they run the football and they're able to get by Buffalo, which is going to be tough because they beat Buffalo 41-10 earlier this year, and to go to Buffalo and do it again is going to be really tough. And so that's the game they're gonna have to win. Then they got to go play Kansas City. Now, you mentioned to me about toughness. Here's the thing: a lot of these Super Bowl teams have to go through the gauntlet. KC went on the road 3 times last year and won the Super Bowl. We saw Tampa Bay do it, where they went on the road 3 times and won a Super Bowl. We've seen Green Bay do it. We've seen the Giants do it. Sometimes the tough way is the better way. Sometimes. Um,
I'm not
so
saying it isn't.
you know, it doesn't bother me. Um, a lot of times the number one seed gets knocked off because they've been resting and they're rusty to start the game. So I think Lamar Jackson has struggled in the playoffs, but I like the way Baltimore ended the season. And if they play good defense like they did at the end of the season, and they run the football with Derrick Henry, they have a chance to win the Super Bowl. So I'll take them in the AFC. In the AFC, I'm going to take the Eagles. The Eagles have blown me away this year with their defense and their ability to win games on the road. Even though they've been kind of bad at home, which has been the outlier, they've been very impressive on the road. Um, I think the Eagles, because of their defense, are the team to beat. The Detroit defense has struggled at the end of the season. So I think if they meet the Eagles can beat them, especially if they're healthy. Even though they blitzed the hell out of Minnesota, I don't think that will work against Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley with the run game. So because of all the injuries to Detroit, they're ripe for the picking. I think Tampa Bay could upset Detroit. They already went into Detroit and won against a fully healthy Detroit team. Tampa Bay beat Philadelphia also this year, which is why I like Gill's Tampa Bay pick. They are a scary team and can absolutely get there. But I'll take the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl. And now you've got Eagles and Ravens. Wow, that is something. I'm going to take the Ravens. I'll take the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. Just something about this year tells me that the Ravens are going to do it with Derrick Henry. So I'll go that route and see how it goes. But it's wide open. I think there could be an upset. I think there could be a surprise team that gets there, or the Chalk Chiefs could just destroy everybody, like Jose just said. So you have Kansas City winning it, Jose?
Yeah, I'll take Kansas City winning it.
So Kansas City beats the Lions.
Yeah.
Gil, you have Baltimore beating Tampa Bay.
On this one, but from the beginning, I have Baltimore beating the Packers.
Yes. Okay. So I have to go back and check. I had Houston, I believe, beating the Packers or the Lions, but I have to go back and check. when Barbosa's here next week, we'll do our review and see how we did with our picks next week. But so that's our Super Bowl picks. We'll see. It's going to be fun to watch. I think all these games are going to be great. I think there are going to be upsets, even though Jose picked Denver. So we all picked the Rams. So Gil has Green Bay, or so Jose has Green Bay, and so Jose will probably end up being right because there's always upsets in the first round. So we'll see what happens.
I hope Jose's right.
Yeah, that's right. But we'll definitely be watching and talking to each other and enjoying the playoffs this year. We will review our picks from earlier this season when Barbosa's back, and hopefully he's not talking the entire show. And we'll give you his picks right now before we go. I know, Jose, you don't want to hear this, but I have to tell the audience what his picks are. He has the Chargers, the Ravens, the Bills, the Eagles, the Bucks, and the Vikings. So he has absolutely no dogs winning this week, which is a mistake. There's always an upset or two, so we shall see how that goes. But that's our show for this week. We will see you next week for another wild card weekend with the number one seeds coming through, and we'll see what happens with that. We'll also have the MVP award announced, and so we'll see what happens there. It looks like it's going to be between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I still think Josh Allen should win it, but we'll see how that goes, along with some other awards with Jaden Daniels as Rookie of the Year. So we'll review that as well and talk about that. We also heard that Tom Brady, who is part owner of the Raiders, is looking to hire Bill Belichick in Las Vegas. So that will be an interesting story next week that we might talk about. There was wouldn't that be so crazy?
No more frat parties for Belichick. No more
man,
24-year-old girlfriends anymore.
No, that will be very interesting if he ends up taking the Raiders job.
Yeah,
well,
I also heard a little insider, I think it was today or yesterday, about Tyreek Hill going to Green Bay next year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, Tyreek, he wants to leave Miami apparently because he's not happy with missing the playoffs this year. Another baby wide receiver, Jose. It seems like they never stop with the baby wide receivers, the divas. So we had Black Monday where coaches got fired. We saw a few coaches let go, and so we have some vacancies opening up there.
So stupid. Like, I don't understand. I sometimes I wonder what the hell these GMs or presidents think. So Jared Mayo gets fired after 1 year. Okay, you don't give him anything. You give him a bunch of rookies and a bunch of no-namers, and you expect this guy to win you 10 games or 11 games? Come on, man, give me a break. And then you have an idiot coach in freaking the Giants and his GM, and they don't even get fired after a horrible season of you letting go of Saquon Barkley for nothing and having let go of your quarterback that you signed for so much money, and you don't fire that guy. Like, I honestly, I really don't understand. Like,
it doesn't
some
make
of these
sense
decisions.
at all. It doesn't make sense at all, Jose. It doesn't.
I
There'll
really
be more
don't.
firings coming, and there'll be more explanations coming. I mean, look, a lot of people are calling race. Look, the New England thing happened because they want Mike Vrabel. That's why that happened.
Okay, but dude, like,
I
you
mean,
can still hire him as a defensive coordinator or something if you want him so bad,
yeah,
and then during the mid-season you can make a coach. If they're doing garbage, then you can bring him in as an interim coach or whatever, replace him as the coach. Don't fire
yeah.
the guy. Don't fire the guy after one season when you gave him a bunch of nobodies. To what do you expect this guy to do? Miracles? Come on now,
It
like,
never,
give me a break, man.
Jose, the hire never made sense to begin with because they wanted to move on from Bill Belichick and then hire his disciple. That never made sense.
Yeah,
So
but dude, like,
yeah,
they wanted to keep it in house, so I understand why they got Jared Mayo. They
yeah,
wanted to keep it in house and stuff like that, but at least give a guy another season. At least give him another year to see what the hell he has or what he
yeah,
can perform. Now that they get another high draft pick, they can upgrade the team on the offseason. I think they have like
yeah,
the most cap space in the NFL this year to waste money. Like, I think they have like $95 million in cap space. Like,
yeah,
come on.
yeah,
And now
yeah,
another guy's gonna come in. He's gonna win all of a sudden these games, and
yeah.
he's gonna be like, oh, forget about him. But anyways, who
Well,
cares?
I don't know who's to end the show. I'll say this: I don't know what's more remarkable, the fact that the Giants are keeping their GM and coach, or Indianapolis is keeping their GM and
There,
coach.
but come on, the coach, that coach, the owner, and the Giants owner must be smoking some heavy duty
Yeah,
stuff, and no wonder their teams are shit, and
yeah.
they're never gonna go anywhere,
Well,
especially the coach.
I'm gonna say this next week too when the Cowboys keep Mike McCarthy. So this is what it is. I mean, it's just owners making dumb
And
decisions.
there
So,
goes another owner that's an idiot. A guy
yeah,
goes, oh, if he takes if he's gonna get this interview, then he doesn't want to be here. Like, dude, like, are you serious right now? His contract ends like today, ended it today. So you don't want this guy to go for an interview because then that means that, but then you're holding this guy by he's gonna be
yeah,
your little puppet until you say,
yeah,
okay, I don't want you, or I'm gonna resign you. Like
yeah,
I don't, dude. I hate that Jerry Jones to me is the. I'm starting to get the passion with that guy. I hate passion with that
yeah,
guy. Oh my
absolutely.
god, it's not even fun. I
Yeah,
think that guy is like what do you call it? A narcissist. I think that's what he
yep,
is. Like he
absolutely.
tries to control everything, but all he does is make his team worse and worse every single year.
Yeah,
So who gives a
Jose,
shit?
that guy did two of the worst things that an owner can do this year. Number one, he waited to sign Dak Prescott till the end of the season, so his team had no money to spend. He waited till the last second to sign CeeDee Lamb so that they had less cap space to spend, and then he said no to Derrick Henry. Now you know why the Dallas Cowboys never win anything. So they get exactly what they deserve. And McCarthy, he leaves McCarthy hanging out to dry. What I think was the absolute best move that a coach ever made this offseason was Dan Quinn leaving to go to Washington. Probably one of the smartest things that the Dallas coach has ever done. Get me out of here. I'm coaching Washington, and look at him now. So get out of Dallas while you can, people. And Michael Parsons, I'm doing a podcast, and you should stop doing yours because the fact that you go on there and say you're going to win the Super Bowl next year makes you a bigger idiot than Jerry Jones.
It's okay.
So,
That's what they've been saying every single year that they're gonna
well,
win. They're gonna win. Every year is their Cowboys year, and
yeah,
they end up doing garbage as like
yeah,
usual. So it's okay.
yeah. So to end the show, I'm going to say thank you, Gil Santos, to your Packers for absolutely annihilating them last year and making them look more stupid than they already are.
Yeah.
Gil, I'll end the show with this. If your Packers lose in the first round, they're not going to do something stupid and fire Mike LaFleur, are they?
No, no,
No,
not at all.
no, of
No,
course not. No,
not at all.
the Packers aren't that kind of team.
No.
They get quarterbacks and they wait and then they keep their coaches around until they win. So, all right, guys. So that's our show for the week. I'm the mouth of North Andrew East. That's Jose Carlos Gomes and Gil Santos. All try to get this stuff fixed last week where the camera goes off out of nowhere and then my computer shuts off. But thankfully, Jose and Gil hung in there and were host AG for a while there and kept it going. So hopefully I
We
get this
kept it
fixed.
going for you. Don't worry. We kept it. We kept
Yeah.
the conversation on going on.
The
Okay.
the show must go on.
That's it. The show
Exactly.
must go on. My camera's still messing up, which is why I'm having the duck back so you guys can see my head. I didn't want to be like get Scorpion getting my head cut off when the fatality over here. So, but hopefully we have that fixed next week, and we have Barbosa back so we can do our review
Oh
of our
my
picks.
god.
I know, but we have to do our review with him here, and we'll try to make him keep it sharp. Okay, we'll cut him off when he goes too long. All right, but we only have 6 games to talk about. It really shouldn't take that long. But I thought this was good, Gil. Are you happier with this week's show?
Yeah, we talked about we need to talk about, and that's it.
And we'll get into some more coaching firings and some news in the NFL, but we'll have games to talk about. And as you know, they call it Wild Card Weekend for a reason because there's always something wild happening. But I wish Gil's team the best of luck because this is the only team that's left in the playoffs because our teams are out of the playoffs already. And we will see you all next week on the Reese Report. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We love our live news shows now, and they're getting more views, so thank you for watching. And we're going to keep it going like this as long as my camera doesn't turn off again. And my laptop doesn't have a heart attack.
And best of luck to everybody in LA. Hopefully everybody stays safe.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? It's crazy world we live in. We had our prime minister resign. We have Trump wanting us to join the U.S. and be a state. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world. So, hang in there, people, and try to survive this crazy world we're living in right now. What a time to be alive. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about that on the show one day. Get
What are
bored.
we turning to CNN now all of a sudden, or
I
what?
don't know, man. When there's no football, we got
Uh,
to come up with something to talk about.
yeah,
So,
we'll start talking about politics. Yeah, no
oh
problem.
God, yeah,
Here we go.
we'll lose viewers by the day. So, but yes, we will see you next week on the Reese Report. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. All right.